Shalom. It's Brother Kasha Kwala coming back at you with another lesson, giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Achakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone to rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. All right, now I know the title of this lesson is long, but it makes sense. Pretty much, you can get what you want if you polish your act. You know what I'm saying? So you can get, the reason why I want to go into this is because a lot of these videos that I do is kind of just things that go on in my life, which I decide to share, you know what I'm saying, which could, hopefully is beneficial towards, Akim, who can relate. But pretty much sometimes I would have that notion or that thought of, say I didn't get something that I wanted at that very moment. No, I guess it just ain't meant for me, and just give up on it. You see what I'm saying? Well, it's not necessarily the case. It is not necessarily the case. All right. Just as a prime example, say, okay, you want a house, or whatever, but you don't get approved for one or something like that. It doesn't mean that you'll never get the house. Don't give up on it. It just means that you're just not at the very moment ready for it. That's why I said polish up your act. Yeah, or your conduct, whatever. You see what I'm saying? It may be in a sense of the cliche saying, hey, it's just not time yet. But I know it's cliche, but it's true. It's just not time for you. Another example, if you want a woman, okay, yeah, we're men, we like women. Come on now. We're men, we like women, right? The Lord's not going to hand you over a woman if you can't, if you can't polish up your act. Meaning, you look like crap. You don't take care of yourself. Your mannerisms are atrocious. Your financial situation is trash. You see what I'm saying? You're consistently, quote unquote, finished or quote unquote through when you don't even need to be. I remember Apostle Tahar did a lesson a while back, like a few years back, pretty much saying, like, if you have $10 in your pocket, that's your fault. If you have $1,000 in your pocket, yes, that's your fault because you did something about it. You did something to get you that $1,000. I would like to be in that fault more than having my fault for having $10 in my pocket. You see what I'm saying? It's all on you. The reason why certain things don't attract themselves to you, you could say. So you could get the things that you want, but the Lord is looking at you like, but you're going to clean up your act. You're going to sacrifice some things. It's called sacrifice to gain, risk and reward. I've been saying that a lot lately, but matter of fact, I'm going to get a script real quick so we can get some scripts involved in this. This is James chapter 1, verse 3. It says, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. Right. The main word in there is patience. Because sometimes you find yourself, like, damn, man, I was trying to get the quote unquote pouting. You know what I'm saying? Until you'll catch yourself like, oh, it just wasn't time yet. Let me just move some things around, clean my act, do what I got to do. And maybe it will come back around when it's deemed necessary that I can have it. Like another example, like you need a car, but are you financially stable to maintain the car? Getting the car is just the first part of it, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, I got a car. You great. Okay. But say you buy a used car. All right. Oh yeah, I bought it straight off the lot. Okay. Well, the tires are worn already. Well, now you need new tires. You need new brake pads. You may need new brake pads and rotors. Okay, now you need an oil change. You done drove it for 5,000 miles. You need an oil change now. So pretty much, the Lord is not going to give you a car if you can't maintain it as well. You see what I'm saying? Let alone now you got to pay the car note and the insurance. Ooh, you got to clean up your act, polish your act, and get financially stable real quick so you can actually get what you want on top of maintaining it. If you okay. And if you keep, well, I want it. Okay, cool. Well, get the car. Get a used car, whatever, with 800 million miles on it. and then it breaks down on you 2 months later. Now you're in more of a rut than what you were without one. Instead of letting patience work. Okay, let me get my act together, and then I'll purchase this car. Let's get the word patience real quick. It's I'm gonna try to pronounce it before Esau. It's good practice, you know. So hupamane. Let me see if I said that right.
Strong's G 5281. Hupamane.
Hupamane. I kind of said it wrong, but you know, it's Esau's language. Hupamane. It says steadfastness, meaning you're 10 toes down, man. You're unmovable. It says, what is that? Constant. Yeah, I think that's constancy, if I'm saying that correctly. Endurance. Matter of fact, I'm going to copy and paste this to Google because I know they can pronounce it too. I want to say the words correctly so, you know, it's edifying. Paste. Enter.
Constancy.
Yep, constancy. It means the quality of being faithful and dependable. Woo! If the Lord sees you're dependable, he'll give you what you want. Okay. Which kind of reminds me of the word accountability. All right, let's see. Let's get that word accountable. Accountable. All right. The word accountable, a person, organization, or institution required or expected to justify actions or decisions. Responsible. That's the word there. When the Lord, you may not get what you want at that very moment because you may not be responsible enough to take on the task. You see? It goes the same thing in the spirit. When you have roles in your camp or whatnot. All right. Men are set up in their positions because of their accountability and responsibility levels. You got heads of camp who have a high level of responsibilities. Second, third, fourths, and fifths in command have high level and a high spirit of responsibility on them. That's why they are put in that position. The apostles, they have a high level of responsibility. And then you have to maintain your role. Is based on your accountability and responsibility as well. And always strive to be better. That's it. You know, it says endurance. All right. It says, I'll read this one. In the New Testament, the characteristic of a man who is not swerved from his deliberate purpose. I did a lesson on that. You got to find your purpose, man. All right. That's when you have patience. When you polish your act, you'll get what you want. Read, what's that? 1 Kings, the 3rd chapter, when in a dream where Solomon prayed or was, you know, having dialogue with the Most High, you know, he asked for what? Wisdom. That was him polishing his act, and therefore everything that he may have wanted was given to him. It was. All right. It says in his loyalty to faith and pity, if I'm saying that right, by even the greatest trials and sufferings, patiently and steadfastly, patient, steadfast, waiting for, patient and enduring, sustaining, perseverance. Let's keep going in this. All right. There's some good synonyms that was in that word patience too. Verse 4 says, but let patience have her perfect work. So like I said, just because you might not get what you quote unquote want at that very moment doesn't mean it wasn't meant for you. Now, I will say this. If you want some big booty bitch, like, come on, bro. Why are you asking for that? You might not even be in the truth. Like reasonable things, like necessities. Like, okay, well, you need a car to get around in this society nowadays. You may need a job. All right. You may actually need a woman, you know what I'm saying, who can help you because, you know, you may have substance, but maybe you have to polish your characteristics. You may have financial stability, a house or apartment or, you know, a place to stay, a nice job, a car. You may have things that you have to sustain yourself, and you may have the funds to sustain somebody else possibly. You just want someone around to cook, clean dishes, but your character is off. You're mean. You're a Grinch. What, a woman needs love and affection. They need attention. Well, how can you do that if you're just an asshole all day? The Lord may want you to polish your act. Then he will present you with a woman that is suitable for your spirit. You see? But don't be like, man, I ain't never going to get a girl. Well, you ain't never going to get a girl with that attitude. Or I'm never going to get a good job. Well, you're not going to get a good job with that attitude. You can get what you want if you polish your act. Simple. All right. It says that ye may be perfect and entire. Right. So let patience work her perfect work. So you can become a perfect individual. Yes, I'm saying a perfect individual because we're striving after the masteries. And also what? Matthew, the 5th chapter. I want to say the last verse. All right, I'm just going to get it. All right. Matthew chapter 5, verse 48. It says, be ye therefore perfect as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Right. So you have to polish your act in order to become someone who is blameless. Someone who, I'll even, those are, of course we speak biblically, but just in a sense speaking to Jake so they can understand it. Just be someone who's likable. You see? How can you walk around and you can't even go to camp where brothers like, oh man, this guy. Polish your act, man. All right. The scriptures talk about our conduct, which let me get that real quick. Conduct. I'm the worst speller ever. All right. No. I want to get this conversation. That's what I want. All right, let's go. Ooh. All right. This is 2 Peter chapter 3 and 11. It says, seeing that all these things shall be dissolved. And, of course, you can read the verses above. It goes into the nuclear missiles and the destruction of this place and the elements being burnt. Since you say, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Of course, you already know what word I'm about to go to. It's a word that we consistently break down and we bring out all the time. Anastrophe. All right. What's Esau say?
Strong's G 391. Anastrophe. Anastrophe.
All right, man. Anastrophe. All right. Manner of life, conduct, behavior. You see that? You can get what you want if you polish your act. All right. I keep saying act. You got to enjoy going into words, man. It says to act upon or what's that? Educate. It says to set in motion. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, to set in motion. So to polish your act, you have to set in motion the things that you need to correct in your life in order to obtain what you want. If you want to be someone who is a wealthy individual, well, get around wealthy people. If you want to be someone who's wise, well, get around wise people. I guarantee you they'll polish your act and correct you. You got to be open to take correction as well. All right. It says act on stage, play, part of, plead, a cause at law. Ooh. All right. You can go more into that if y'all would like to, Akim. All right. So going back. Read that one more time. It says, seeing that all these things shall be dissolved. And yeah, even saying that, the missiles are coming. How do you avoid it? By polishing up your act. That's simple. All right. And then wait and be patient for what you really want. Salvation. You may not be ready for it yet. That's why the Lord has given us a liberty and a grace period to polish our act so we can be prepared for the salvation, Lord willing, it comes to us. He sees us fit. The scriptures say pretty much meet for repentance. The word meet means acceptable. You see? Someone who's acceptable has polished themselves, has got their act together. All right? But just going back, I don't want to make this lesson too long, but just going back to what I was saying, some things in your life may not come when you want it, but it would come later because the Lord is waiting for you to polish your own self. You see that? So, Lord willing, this was edifying. And give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem HaKakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone to rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. And I almost forgot, I do want to say this. And another thing, just because you don't get what you want at the very moment doesn't mean you stop striving after your goals. Okay? Never stop striving after your goals. If you have a goal that you had planned and that you have put forth, you may have wrote it down on a dry erase board, whatever, so you can see it every day, put it on your mirror. I don't know. Just because you had a hiccup or a bump in the road or an obstacle that was presented in front of you, that does not mean you stop. That is another thing the Lord, I believe, looks at. Okay? He's like, okay, let me put something in his way. Let me see if he stops, quits. When in turn, I'm really going to give him this thing. I just want to see him how much he really wants it. Don't think at that very moment because you didn't obtain it or you were so close to grabbing it and you didn't catch on to it. That does not mean you stop going after your goal. You see? All right. So with that, I want to say shalom.